To allow both Member Renault and Member Elsasser. I was like, who did you say? Member Elsasser to join via teleconference. Danny and Brandy, thank you. All in favor to allow them to join? I guess I will vote here. It is up for me. Did it show up? All right, welcome. We will move forward to our approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion? Danny and Brandy, thank you. All right, ayes have it. We'll move on to informational items. We've got our circuit clerk here to give us an informational update. Come on up. It's the Bob Barker Show.
We're going to go through that later. Little update on the office. We finally started construction today, Monday, and they closed us off. We're all into a nice little cozy area out front. Everybody's having a good time being next to each other. I haven't had any major arguments yet. The construction's pretty quiet right now. They've taken all the tile down, and we haven't heard a lot of different noises. And as far as the summer program that's going on, we're doing really well, which we'll talk about that later, I think. But we have 22 kids, young women and men, working in my office right now, scanning everything in, getting prepared for the move. We have still got a lot of scanning downstairs, which I can explain later if you want, or I can explain it now, whichever. But that area downstairs, half of that area down there that we're going to take away, it's going to go to Jody Hoots' office, the state's attorney, and they're going to put a vault down there. That's why we're trying to scan all the stuff down in the basement too. The young kids are working very hard. They've done a ton of documents and they've done a ton of files. And there's a difference between documents and files. Documents is the pages, and the files are just the file that they have done. They're working very hard. We don't tell them they got to work 8-hour days. We just tell them to come in, and when they want to, we kind of know where they're at. We have them set out throughout the whole office. They're in different areas, different sections of the office. We try to keep them together, but it's working out real well for us. One thing about hiring these young kids, which is really nice, is they're really good in computers. It's amazing how well they catch on. So I think our future looks pretty bright for Peoria. So our kids will be able to do the computers better than we can, and that might be dangerous. So you might want to be aware of that. So other than that, everything's going really well.
Okay. Any questions for Bobby about the office operations?
John, no question. Man, I must have covered everything pretty good.
Thank you. We'll move on to our coroner's update. Do we have anybody here? No, doesn't look like it. And PCAPs. Becky here?
Becky is not here today, Madam Chair. Happy to answer any questions from the report that's in the packet.
Any questions for Scott regarding PCAPs operations? Okay. Can I get a motion to send Bobby back up here then for the scanning project approval? We've got Sharon and Linda. Thank you. Come on back up.
I got yelled at last time I used the microphone. That's why I'm getting used to it. Look at the weight I've lost walking. It's working out pretty good. All right. What do you want me to explain what we're doing?
Yes, please.
Again, we're asking for $150,000, and what that'll do will take us to the end of the year with our program, with our summer kids helping. And it'll take most of the documents, and we should be close to having what they can do done. And when I say what they can do, we have documents that have gotten wet throughout the years of leaks and stuff in our office, and they can't really properly scan those into our system. But with the $150,000 will get us all the way to that end of the year with them, and then next year, obviously, we'll be getting the money to do it. So that would pretty close to ending our career with the young kids coming to our office. Hopefully, next year we can do it again and not hire as many, but hire some kids to do stuff for us. I have, I can go through the documents, what they've done. And I got them all written down. I didn't memorize all this, sorry. But they've scanned so far this year, 86,000 documents. Wow. That's total pages that they have scanned. Last year they did over 13 million. So we really we're pretty far ahead of last year according to our schedule and that. I'm thinking the cost savings, we save about 50% of the money. It's hiring these young kids to do what they're doing. This would cost us millions of dollars, plus it would have to send it out. We'd have to pack it up and do all that. With them doing it, it really helps us out a lot. Plus, it puts kids to work in a situation of where they're not outside digging ditches or, cutting grass or something. They're inside working and they're enjoying what an environment is like working with professionals like we have here. So it's a win-win for Peoria County and for us itself and for the young kids that come and work for us.
Well, thank you for thinking of this. I know this was started last year, so this isn't new. You guys have been working on getting these done. Scott, can you tell us about how this was recommended to be a budget amendment through the finance department?
Sure. So the additional funds that the clerk will need to pay the interns is not something that's in his original appropriation that you approved last fall. The source of the funds of this budget amendment are the reserves of the general fund and would be appropriated into Bob's general fund department should the board approve it. It comes to this committee because of the dollar threshold that are in the board's rules of order for what is an oversight committee decision versus a finance committee decision. So it's within that threshold for the oversight committee. And both CFO McCord and I have looked at the request from the clerk's office, the reserves that are available in the general fund, and wholeheartedly endorse and support the request.
Any questions for either Bobby or Scott? Yes, Steve.
Yeah, Bobby, if you maybe give a little more explanation for a naive person like myself. So when they scan these in, I assume they're going into the court digital system that already exists? Or, I mean, what system, where are they going to? I mean,
We're scanning
scanning,
them into Tyler's a court system that we scan them into, and they stay in that system where we can bring up the cases when we need them. They've just allowed us to do this. It's just like if you scan papers and we're saving them in an area that's safe, that nobody can get to. It's a Tyler system, right? Yeah, it's a Tyler system that we scan them to.
I mean,
And
just,
we are going on to a cloud next week, in about the 19th of this month, we're going to be in a cloud system.
I mean, obviously, we're scanning them because we're required to retain them, otherwise we would have destructed them.
We have to retain them.
So I want to make sure we answer the question of how do we ensure that we properly retain them, they're searchable, they're retrievable, and they're safe from the standpoint of if a hard drive goes down, we don't go, oh, that didn't work. There's a backup. Just some confidence, I guess, that, I mean, the retrievability of in the basement probably wasn't very good either, I understand,
No.
but digitized now, I want to hear how
We're a
we,
digital file now.
yeah.
So starting in 2016, every file pretty much that goes through Peoria County is digital. We're not keeping paper files unless it's absolutely necessary. So once they started this, they also changed the retention policies with the AOIC on how long we have to keep files and whether or not they're digitized or not. So we used to send all these documents, we'd box them up, send them out to a microfilm company. They would put them on microfilm, they'd give them back to us on a CD, and then we'd have to take the individual files from that CD and load them into our case management system on a case-by-case basis, which takes a lot of time. Instead, we decided if we just had people scan them directly into the case management system so that they're available online, they have the same retention and saving policies and procedures as all of our other documents that go through the court systems. And they'll be readily available, so we're skipping all of the prep work and all of the end work to get these files, quote, into the system and get rid of them, so it clears up all the space in the basement and so forth.
They're backed up. I mean, they're not.
And I guess, have we validated that, look back at some random samples, okay, we scanned these into this case document, can we go access them, are they complete?
It's the complete, so what we're doing, like right now, there's a list of events, like the case is open, there's complaints filed, there's answers filed. These, somebody would pull up an old case, they'd click one button and have all the documents that were ever put on that file scanned in. And we've gone through and randomly spot checked them.
Okay.
We've gone through like 84,000 cases that have been loaded into the system. It's a little over almost 2.5 million documents. And we compared that cost to the microfilm cost that we paid in the past, and we're saving roughly 15%, or 50%, excuse me, versus sending it out. There's also a 4 to 6 month lag time on getting the microfilm back.
That's what these young kids, they know events easier than too. They can get into an event. You just can't take a file and scan the whole file. You have to scan each page into the event that it's supposed to be into in the file. Yeah.
And I guess that was my question, from an organizational retrievability, are we compliant with whatever the retention rules are? As long as we're compliant and we can retrieve
Yes.
them, we're good. I just don't want to grieve a year from now saying, oh, we have an issue and we've destroyed all the paper.
We are not going to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I wouldn't put myself in that jeopardy. No, we have got this blessing with the state and AOIC, and this is the route they told us to go. Most of the clerks are going that way. We're getting more advanced because of our Tyler technology and stuff. And I thank you guys when we went for that to change that over with. And that's helped out a lot. And this is just part of being the year this year. We can start doing more and more. Traffic tickets can almost be destroyed after 30 days, as long as we got a record of them, which we help, which are digital, a lot of them. The city is, and the city just finally, and I can go into all different stuff, but the city is going with Tyler to do their ADR. which was huge. And within that, they're gonna get the packaging where they can go into sending our tickets to us just like the e-file. And then the ticket will already be digital into our front system, and we won't have to enter the tickets and stuff. So that's a huge thing that's gonna come up in the future. And then when they start doing it, so will the county. And because they use the same ADR that the city uses, which is gonna be Tyler, which is a huge, got into that system, which is huge. When I talked to Chris about it, I asked him to talk to the city about kind of pushing Tyler to do that. And I don't know if Chris had all the push for it, but the city did go with Tyler, which is, that's the system we use for our justice system. And Odyssey is the program. So when I talk Tyler, that's the company. Odyssey is our program.
Thank you. Any other questions for either of the gentlemen? Yes, Paul.
Thanks, Madam Chairman. So basically, by doing this, once they get done next year, everything will all be digitized or whatever, and we won't have to do it again, correct? I mean, you guys are already doing it now, and so they're just getting caught up on all the stuff that wasn't done before. Am I correct on that?
Correct. They're doing old stuff. We're still gonna have a small portion of documents that they can't do, juvenile cases, some complicated cases, stuff like that. But our goal is, yes, to get everything digitized, and then our next step would be taking all the stuff that we have on microfilm rolls and getting that digitized as well.
We still have microfilm downstairs that we'd like to get digitized too. I mean, but that's a whole nother subject. Now, we tried to get grants from the state, and just to do our microfilm that we have on cases that are on microfilm, it was over $1 million. And the machine that we use to look at it is outdated, but we're able to keep it going. So we're not pushing for that as much as we want to get the paper files done. And we're hoping we get a grant from the state to get them done. And I think the grant is getting closer and closer to becoming or to us. So I think in the next couple of years we'll definitely get that grant. Because I heard through a grapevine we could have got the grant if we could have got permission to put the money up front right now within 2 weeks. Put the money all up in front and then start doing it, and then we would have gave it the money. But I couldn't come and ask for $1 million to get to have the state. They'd give us $1 million back. I didn't think that would have been fair to anybody. And so we're working on the grant every time we can. We do put in for the grant, and we will put Dave on that a lot. Gabe tells us what's going on. So hopefully we get a grant for that eventually.
Right. Oh, Danny, yes.
Only curious, where did you find all these kids at, Bob?
Pardon me now?
Where did you find all these kids at? I mean,
Actually, they just, all of a sudden, my neighbor even came in, but people just started saying, hey, yeah, my daughter, can he work, or can my son work? A couple judges, and then the word gets out, and they come in, and they just come in and start working. Yeah, I mean, they've worked out really well. And you know what, it's, like I said, it's not, I think sometimes it's a little different work than planting a garden, and doing stuff like that. I think they enjoy, they enjoy being outside, but they enjoy being in the air conditioning when it works.
All right, if there's no further
And
questions.
some of these kids are from last year are coming back too. They're not all like already.
Any other questions? All right, let's vote.
They can come up and help you out both.
Did they get on?
Are you voting on, Madam Chairman, are you voting on the circuit clerk's budget there?
Thank you, Member Alsasser. Yes, we're voting on the scanning of the circuit clerk's project.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I reluctantly vote aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, the ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the sheriff's resolution? Thank you, Linda and Danny. Come on up.
Hello, everybody. So this is, if you remember, we hired a grant writer over a year ago now. She applied for an Let's Be grant for $372,000. We were just awarded it for a NIBIN machine, which is, long story short, it does two things. So say we have a shooting where there's shell casings left on the scene. We collect those shell casings, we put them in this NIBIN machine. It then looks at the database nationwide and shows, so every shell casing, it's almost like a fingerprint. The rifling leaves an imprint that's very unique only to that gun that shoots that ammo. So it's very common for us when we come across a shots fired scene, there's 5 or 6 shell casings we find. Usually when we do run it through the machine, it'll hit on probably 3 or 4 shootings across Peoria, Bloomington, Decatur, because these shooters are using the same gun and they do numerous shootings. So it's a huge tool for us. The other side of this is also, say we arrest a felon that has possession of a gun. The bullet trap that comes with this, we shoot that gun in the bullet trap, we take that shell casing from that gun, and now we can prove that that gun has done numerous shootings in the area where those hit. So this all goes through the ATF database. Peoria City got awarded this grant probably 5 or 6 years ago. We've been using theirs, which has been okay, but we're kind of on their time frame. Now us having this tool, we can within an hour get these results back, which could lead to an arrest or not, to further that investigation a lot quicker. So we're very happy to get this huge grant, over $300,000.
And what is the process of using the cities?
We have to, sometimes when we go down there, there's nobody there. So we have to wait until they're available for us to use it. We sent one of our people through the training, so we don't have to bother their people, but we still have to wait for them because they could be out on something too. So sometimes we have to wait 12 hours or a day to get in there to use theirs. So then once again, we can make this available for other agencies to come in and use ours too. So it's, I don't know how many sheriff's office. I'm waiting to hear from the ATF. We might be one of the very few sheriff's offices besides Cook County that have this machine.
Okay. And Member Renault shared with us that this is what he anticipated a standard cost for this machine. So that was nice of him.
This comes with almost 7 years of subscription service for this machine too. So they're paying for at least 6 to 7 years.
Great. Great. What questions do we have for the sheriff? Questions? Yes, Linda.
Well, I just want to say that clearly your grant writer has earned their salary, because this is very exciting that you have somebody that can do such a good job and bring in so much money. It's great.
She just got a $10,000 grant last week to redo a programming pod for our females. I mean, and I think we're waiting on 4 results of grants that she's applied for in the last few months. So we're hopeful we'll get, hopefully 2 of those would be great. So she's doing really well.
Wonderful. Great. There aren't any other questions. Let's vote.
I vote aye.
Thank you, Brian. All right, all in favor. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. right, we'll move on to public comment. Seeing none, miscellaneous? All right, and we're
Madam
adjourned.
Chairman?
Oh,
Madam Chairman?
one moment. Yes, Brian.
Yeah, I went into a dead zone there, and I actually lost quite a bit of the conversation on the circuit clerk's resolution. So my vote today may not be reflected at the main county board meeting. So I just want to mention that.
Maybe we can have the circuit clerk give you a call.
Pardon me, dear?
We can have the circuit clerk give you a call to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, no, I will. Bobby and I know each other well. I'll have a lot of questions for him. So, okay.
All right, sounds good. We're adjourned.